Welcome to the Deep Dive Books channel, where we hope you find something valuable every day.
Today, we begin discussing a book, published in February 2024, titled Languishing: How to Feel Alive Again in a World That Wears Us Down. The author, Corey Keyes, is a sociology professor at Emory University in Atlanta, USA. The English word languishing refers to a state of being listless, lazy, indifferent, and unmotivated. This term gained popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic, thanks to an article by organizational psychologist Adam Grant from the Wharton School, whom we've discussed before. The term became widespread as this feeling of languishing spread. In China, we also have a term for this, lying flat. Keyes identifies several symptoms of languishing. No longer caring about anything around you, lacking a sense of meaning. No passion for work. Feeling anxious and out of control in your environment. Becoming frustrated over minor setbacks. Lacking motivation and avoiding social interactions, not wanting to connect with anyone. A sharp drop in self-worth, with no more ambition, passion, or ideals. Feeling emotionally low. Doesn't this sound like lying flat? Though lying flat might have some positive aspects, like choosing a minimalist, low-cost lifestyle, after reading Keyes' book, I believe this positive lying flat is hard to maintain. If someone loses interest in work and social life, they will eventually slide into full-blown languishing. In English, there's also a more nuanced word for languishing. Aesthesia, derived from the Greek akidia, meaning a lack of care for life or oneself, a total indifference. The Catholic Church once listed aesthesia as an eighth deadly sin, alongside pride, envy, wrath, sloth, greed, gluttony, and lust. The Catholic Church equates languishing with sloth, because languishing is not the same as laziness. At least lazy people still care about themselves, but those who are languishing don't even care about themselves. We need to carefully distinguish languishing. Medically speaking, Keyes says languishing is not depression. Depression is more severe, defined by persistent hopelessness or sadness for at least 2 consecutive weeks, often accompanied by crying, sleeping too much or too little, and thoughts of suicide. Languishing is not as extreme. Nor is it burnout. Burnout is a work-related state where the demands exceed available resources, leading to chronic stress. It can be caused by exhaustion, poor work environments, or problems at the workplace, but it's often reversible with rest or a change of environment. However, burnout and depression are linked to languishing. Burnout can lead to languishing, and languishing can lead to depression. It's not just depression. It could also lead to PTSD and various other mental health issues. A student who languishes might smoke, drink, self-harm, or have suicidal thoughts, even considering dropping out. Adults might lose interest in work, feel anxious, and see their productivity plummet, with frequent doctor visits. Languishing may also activate a set of genes, called conserved transcriptional response to adversity, CTRA, which increases inflammation and lowers antibody production, harming physical health, and potentially leading to premature death. So, languishing is not only a negative state, but also a risky one. While some might enjoy lying flat, long-term languishing is unhealthy. Surprisingly, many people today are languishing. Keyes' research shows that languishing is most common in 3 age groups: adolescence, 12 to 19, early adulthood, 25 to 34, and old age, 75 plus, with 50% to 60% of people in these stages showing signs of languishing. But other age groups aren't much better off. For children ages 1 to 5, there are 4 key signs of healthy growth. 1. They can bounce back quickly from setbacks. 2. They are emotionally attached to their parents. 3. They show curiosity about new things. And 4. They laugh. Simple, right? Yet 37% of children fail to meet these criteria and show signs of languishing. This is often due to poor family conditions. These children usually come from economically disadvantaged families, or their parents are divorced, creating an unstable environment that disrupts normal growth. By adolescence, the proportion of those experiencing languishing starts to rise, reaching as high as 60% during high school. If you have a high school student at home, who rarely communicates with parents, often locks themselves in their room, is socially distant at school, and sometimes exhibits odd behaviors, like playing pranks or even engaging in self-harm, you are not alone. Unlike young children, languishing high schoolers often come from middle or upper-class families. While financially secure, their parents may be too busy to show them love, often making decisions without considering the child's opinions, leaving them feeling unsafe at home. Adolescents are naturally exploring their identity and becoming more aware of social relationships. At this stage, they need emotional support from family and friends. Their languishing mainly stems from emotional deprivation. College students often experience languishing due to setting excessively high standards for themselves. University life is competitive. Students are high achievers, perfectionists to some degree, and they face high parental expectations while feeling anxious about entering the workforce. Over time, the constant pressure becomes unbearable. After entering the workforce, languishing is often caused by disillusionment with the complexities of society. In the real world, there are no clear-cut answers. Many people find themselves unsure if they've made the right choices, and this uncertainty leads to feelings of helplessness. Women, especially after having children, may also experience languishing. About 17% of new mothers suffer from postpartum depression, and 40% experience languishing. Feeling insecure, worried about their ability to care for their children, and lacking a strong sense of identity as a mother, without much satisfaction in that role. For adults, pressure is constant. Some people have enough money, but are overworked, continuing to work late into the night after getting home. Others struggle to find stable employment, and part-time jobs don't provide enough income to support a family. Then there are those who have money, little work, and a happy marriage, yet still feel directionless and find no meaning in life. The good news is that happiness tends to peak around ages 60 to 65, as most life challenges are behind us, allowing us to simply enjoy life. The bad news is that, by age 75, problems resurface. As the body ages, health issues arise, making it harder to engage with society. Loneliness increases as loved ones pass away, and it's estimated that after 75, only 10% of our time is spent interacting with others. Key shares a story about an elderly relative, 88 years old, who is still mobile, but refuses to fly because of the fear of incontinence during a 2-hour flight. Life seems full of languishing moments. What can we do? Key suggests that the opposite of languishing is flourishing. Flourishing is a state of vibrant, energetic growth, something we've often discussed on this channel. Think of it like tending a garden. Whether it's a rare plant or a common one doesn't matter much. What's important is the plant's vitality, its ability to flourish. Similarly, a child's academic performance is secondary to their zest for life. If someone feels disinterested in everything, avoids interaction, isolates themselves, and lacks motivation or passion, isn't that a miserable existence? In the past, people were too busy with survival and large families to experience languishing. But today, in both America and China, languishing has become a widespread issue. The COVID-19 pandemic has dealt a significant, possibly permanent blow to this generation's mental health, causing many to simply give up. So, how can we escape languishing and achieve flourishing? Keyes is an expert on flourishing, and we'll delve deeper into this later. But first, let's understand the causes of languishing. Finally, here's a moment of reflection. I'm reminded of an article, published in Youth magazine in 1915, by Dushio, titled, A Call to Youth, in which he proposed 6 ideals for young people. Independence, not servitude. Progress, not conservatism. Ambition, not withdrawal. Global perspective, not isolationism. Practicality, not empty rhetoric. Science, not superstition. Even today, these 6 ideals still resonate. Imagine how wonderful the world would be if young people embraced them. But 100 years later, none of these ideals have been fully realized. Take ambition, not withdrawal, as an example. We thought we'd achieved it, but it turned out to be an illusion. If Chin Duxiu were to time travel and hear about the term lying flat, he wouldn't find it unfamiliar at all. That's it for today's content. In the next lecture, we'll discuss emotions are a byproduct.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.